Hello, I know it's really early for our channel to be having a live, so I don't know if a lot of people will know to tune in, but here we are. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. I'm Mama D, happy to be here with you. We're going to be talking about, I'm getting comfortable. I've got my favorite blanket. I hope you do too. Buckle up, Buttercup, says Ocean Deep. It is alive. And so there's no rehearsal, there's no editing. We just go with it. In this today, I just wanted to voice my humble opinion, and that's all this is all about, is how we feel. So I invite you, whether you're on replay and you put it in the comments, or if you're in the live, share your feelings, because it's all about how we feel about this. And here's the deal. It's not just the Idaho 4 case that this happens in. Delphi case, the Stephen Avery case, the Bambanek case, the Finley case. So many times when this is a huge crime that is of nationality, like everybody knows in the whole world about the crime, it's almost as if they have a blueprint that they follow. And I've seen it happen again and again, and I said before Richard Allen was ever on trial, they're going to use the same blueprint on him, and indeed, it was like stamped out. And that case went exactly as I thought it would, unfortunately. And I've said it many times, and everybody doesn't want to hear me. But I'm seeing the Brian Kohlberger with the exact same thing happening. So, we are mere months away from trial. August is the trial, right? Unless it moved up. I mean, things change in this case like crazy. But it's mere months away, and we have some sort of what I would perceive, to the best of my knowledge, it would have to be a leak. We have a gag order, and yet we have major national networks stating that they have Kohlberger's phone records, that they have all this stuff off his phone with pictures of this and so forth. And the thing is they're showing us a lot of blurry stuff that appears to be on a phone, and we know damn well they don't have that phone. So their words don't have to match what they're showing you. So, for instance, in the Jay Slater case, we had a Snapchat of what we feel is the victim, right? And it don't look like the victim, even though mother is questioning if this boy is alert, is he conscious, or does somebody else have his phone? So one of the things that came from that was, would his hairline match? Well, even on my own thumbnail, I had reversed the victim's picture, just flipped it, right? So that the words would fit better on screen. I didn't even think about it, but it actually reversed the hair where the part was, which matched the picture, which is going to confuse a lot of people. So I learned from that, not flip the victim's picture, because it can matter later on. And so when media is working with editing and, what they're going to show and all kinds of stuff, they were showing things that are already publicly out there. They also never explained if all this information that's on Kohlberger's phone, right, is prior to the murders. Because it's after. Here's the deal. Here's the deal, Pickle. He is a criminology student. He is a teacher assistant. He needs to be up to date on the current events. That is part of his job, part of his PhD thing. It's a crime that has happened locally that is nationally known. He's talking about it. They're talking about it in the class setting, so research would be required. And I'm just going to ask you, whether you're a guilter or whether you're a pro-burger, as they like to call us, all right? I'm not a pro-burger, I'm not a guilter. I just want to know what the hell truth is. Period. Kohlberger did it? Fine, prove it. If he didn't do it, then who the hell did, and let's get him in there. Okay, that's how I've always felt. I don't see the evidence at this point that says Kohlberger did it, but I challenge you, whether you're a pro burger, a no burger, whatever. I want you to consider what would happen if some reason there was an investigation and as a true crimer, they seized your computer. What kind of searches would you have on your computer? You know what I would have? I would have things like, how long does it take for a body to decompose? These kind of searches. So, when you put a spin on that, it can make me look really guilty if all of a sudden they found a body within, I don't know, somehow connected to somebody that knew me and blah, blah, blah. Which is nothing I would have anything to do with naturally. But my computer searches would be alarming. Okay? I mean, seriously. So, he's in the same field as we are. He's saying he's going to be researching. I don't get how everybody can be like, oh my God, he searched some PORN. Right? It could have been part of a case he's working. We don't know what cases he was on and working. But if he's a criminology student, he might have been working a couple cases out of curiosity. Right? Rachel. Let's get Rach on the board. This is our live chatters. I'm sharing their comments. Make sure and leave your comments down below. I read every single one, even if I can't respond to all of you. I do my best. Rach says, not that Rach, Hickey says, you don't want to see my search history. Nikki UK, same thing. Yes, lots of us would have a lot of strange searches. Can you imagine? I don't even know what it would look like. I mean, I've been in this since 2016. I've covered 100 cases, you know. Like in the Harmony Montgomery case, I would have searched up things about children decomposing, right? To try to figure out how long it would have had to been in the refrigerator for it to leave an imprint, if you will, of odor. So, yeah, there's some things that would be like, what? But would they take an account in my trial, as they say? Would the jury be able to be informed? And really, would they consider, like, wait a minute, she's in true crime, and, you know, she probably would have been Googling a lot of this, searching a lot of this, look at the different cases, let's get into, no. Probably not. I'm sure the prosecution would spin this. So, the blueprint goes all the way back to the 70s in the Bambette case. Bambi is what, she hated that. But that case was about an officer who had an ex-girlfriend that got red-rummed. It was tried to be proven in court that so he had a relationship after the ex with another police officer, a female, and they tried to pin the murder on her, even though all the evidence pointed to this cop right here. No. Long story. So if you go back and look at the way they worked that, one of the key ingredients in the blueprint, where the green box must be checked to make a murderer, right? You're creating them because they're not guilty, is this pre-trial muddying of the jury pool, right? It's tainting the well of justice way ahead of time by leaking out information through whatever means. I mean, it could be something as simple as, oh, I don't know, let's just hypothetically make up something like, the guy that maybe drove the girls around has a wife that happens to work for Moscow, and he's good friends with one of the victims' parents, and so information just somehow gets leaked out. And then that is told to media sources that spin all these searches instead of saying, this criminology student who's seeking his PhD has criminal-based searches about things that we're not sure what they would mean to the case. So in other words, if they're saying that he was looking up PORN and drunken and all this kind of stuff and crimes, right? Could he have been curious about what happened over there at 1122? Did this happen after the fact? Where are all the searches prior? Like before there is a red rum quadruple homicide? Where are all the searches? Where's all the pre-ramping up? Where is the mindset to commit the crime? They should have something. Like either he's got books written around or notes written somewhere, or he's written something on his computer, or he's got things that search up over an extended period of time so that he can get his head wrapped around all the security part and all this and all that, so that he can know what's going on inside that house. There should be searches, since they're so good at searching, of the home itself and the layout, because there's no way he would know that layout unless he searched it. So they're saying, okay, it's available online. That's how he would know. Prove it. Show that search. See, if you just cherry pick off that tree, then it's not a tree of justice. If you simply take all the negatives and you make them and mold them around the individual, you create a new timeline based on the suspect rather than the timeline, and then find who fits the timeline. Instead of taking the evidence and finding out where the evidence leads you, you find someone and you backtrack and you reverse engineer the evidence. See, that is crippling our justice system. And it also says they're protecting someone that is a homeboy in a sense. Home skillet, as Jules of True Crime would say. Right? They're protecting home skillet, home base. Because they're all about, especially when you listen to Gonzo talk, right? He's all about the community as if he lived in Moscow, as if he belongs to that little town, baloney, right? Kaylee wasn't even there that much, so stop it, all right? But to sit there and say one of our own in sentences and outsider in sentences and, alienating and distancing the crime to be an outsider, as if nobody in Idaho could commit this kind of atrocity. It just, the state would have spewed that person out as if they were exorcised the demons. No. You guys have a lot of crap over in Idaho, just like every state, just like every country. The world is full of malicious, nefarious, bad people that do have the demon in them to commit very wicked, horrific crimes. Lori Vallow. Drop it. It's right there. So, acting all pretentious, and then in the side of your face coming out with these leaked documents that definitely don't impress a lot of us when you're blurring the screen. You're not just laying it out there going, look, this was on his phone. Look at this. This is one of his phone calls. To me, The footage that they're showing of the car is nothing but the headlights. Nothing can be determined from a giant glare across the screen. And furthermore, Brian needed a phone. Why? Who's he going to call? Okay, so would he have had a burner phone? Maybe if he was going to commit the crime, but to suggest he took his own phone, we've all in agreement that that's just a wild concept. There's a lot of things wrong here, such as the media suggesting that there were no shower curtain behind Brian when he took the white button-up picture with his thumbs up, which it's been kind of stated out there very clearly that he has difficulty with his fingers and has a hard time buttoning up. And so he was buttoning up most likely. They say this took place the day after the crime. I think they mean days. I'm wondering if he was getting ready for his doctor appointment. I don't think it happened on that Sunday. But if it did, could he have been going to church? What was he doing that Sunday? He had doctor's appointments where the doctor is going to physically check him out 4 days after the crime. If he had been punching anybody, if he had been hurting people, there would be signs on him. Even the mental, oh my God, I got to go around a doctor that's going to be looking at me physically. Why would he have not canceled that appointment? I'm wondering a lot if there could seriously have been a connection between a frat that used Brian Kohlberger. You know what I'm saying? Like the frats decided to pick their patsy ahead of time. Brian grades papers. Brian touches things. Brian, isn't knowing that anybody is going to be looking at him. But at the same time, people are like, oh my God, he wore gloves all the time. Oh my God, you guys. In the same breath they're saying Brian's wearing gloves all the time, they're also saying that he's being watched by the FBI before there was an Idaho 4 case. I'll tell you what, if I thought I was being watched by the FBI, the Fake Bureau of Investigation, if I thought I was being watched by them, I might look like weird too. If they really were watching you, you'd be like, well, is somebody watching me? They are. What the heck? You'd start having peculiar behavior. And why were they watching him? What would have triggered them to watch him? I don't understand that either. Could it have come from the crime that they say he didn't do back in Pennsylvania, where they didn't charge him because they didn't think he did it? They had the parents come in and testify, I believe, in front of a grand jury. But when they're creating this tornado of media and saying they have information, show it if you got it. Show it. Don't blur it. If you're going to make a claim, and I say this with other YouTube creators as well, because that's been a problem as of late. And I voiced my opinion, and they copy struck me because I shared their damn little video. Whatever. My point is, in any case, I don't care if you're the media, you're YouTube, whoever you are, the minute you say the word fact, F-A-C-T, show it or shut it. Produce it or shut your mouth. Now, I don't mind. I appreciate opinions. I appreciate theories. I appreciate all different rabbit holes. I'll talk all day with you on it. Maybe this happened. Could have that have happened? Why did this happen? That's all part of life. We all have curiosity. But don't come out spewing that you got facts like the media's doing right now and then hide it behind blurry bullshit and just tell us that's what it is. It doesn't work. So if you say you got the facts, prove it. I dare you. I double dog down, triple dare you. Prove your facts if you're gonna say facts. Or quit being a hypocrite and calling it factual information, but spewing your opinion and putting a stamp on it and guaranteeing that it's factual. You know what? On Tommy Boy, that movie, he said something along the lines that you can poop in a box and put a guarantee on that it's a fact, right? Because it's a load of shit, factually. But Me Payne, hello, you said gag order meant so much in protecting the evidence investigation. The statute of Idaho justice system is broken. You're right. Let me get you on the board. That's how I feel too. How do you guys feel? Wonders Deep, hello from Alabama, Roll Tide. Well, hello, lovely. I lived in Dothan, Alabama as a very, very young child, and I still have family in Dothan, Alabama. Hey, Jolie Brown, I missed you too. Exactly. If Brian Kohlberger committed the quadruple homicide, why didn't he cancel his doctor appointment? Why didn't he cancel his haircut? How come he felt so confident knowing he had no injuries and he didn't? There was nothing shown, right? His hands are clean. Yet Kaylee's face has been punched so severely, according to her father, that was what really killed her, and that's why the means of death don't match. Hey, Joey Agrella from Portugal. Wow, we are all over the world. What green car? You think it's a green car in that footage? A lot of people think that's a green car. I got mascara weeping off the sides of my eyes. Exactly, Me Paying. You're nailing it today. When his medical records indicate no visible injuries. Correct. Wonder Steve, welcome back. You said D22 because he didn't need to cancel his doctor's appointments because he had nothing to hide. Boom. That's why he didn't. I love that. You guys are on it today. Hey, ex-con, how you doing? Welcome back, lovely. Fox Rooter, good to see you. Jan Funk. Wow, I need to come on here a little earlier in the day over here. It's a green car. A lot of people. I'm going to be honest. I have had a whirlwind week. Meaning I haven't had, I'm literally, did I get to eat today? Busy. Which is wonderful because I love being busy. But I promise you, tonight, I'm going over and I'm going to pay for the Hulu, whatever I got to do, to watch this all. I've only seen clips, right? Because I haven't had time to watch it from last night. But I'm going to pay for it. I think it's $50. That's what Jules True Crime was saying. So I hope it's not that much. But I'm going to try if I can afford it. But I would like to watch it. Now, after this, you guys, if you are into helping us get the word out there and spread awareness on Lily and Jack Sullivan, we're going to be jumping over on Mama D's Family, and I'm going to do a whole, picture dump, and I'm going to be sharing information and documents and stuff like that. Well, not documents as much as, clips of posts that have been made by family and so forth. And we're going to deep dive into that quite a bit. So Jeanette Snyder says, I agree with you, Mama D, in the case of a lot of equations do not add up. A, B doesn't equal C all over this case. Exactly. Debbie Gazzardo, good to see you. And thank you to all my beautiful mods. I appreciate you so very much. Debbie says we are critical thinkers and none of this makes sense. BK was set up in your opinion. Thank you for sharing. Young Black Economist, welcome back. You said, I am usually in the minority and take a minority's opinion on many things, which is sometimes helpful, usually unhelpful. but always lonely. I appreciate finding others who can break through the hype. Well, you're very welcome here, lovely. Think however you would like and feel however you would like. However, do not be derogatory is my main thing. In other words, show respect to Brian, show respect to Kaylee's family and all the victims' family. Just be nice all around. And we're just happy with everybody then. Truth and Transparent called out a white filter and black made Elantra look white. And Jules of all trades a year ago got the green car observing the house being torn down. Same green car that night. And they could be right because they're both phenomenal investigators. Yes, she has a video, but she's not able to share it, so she's showing her take on it while she watches it. She's not showing the actual video, is she? Because when I was watching it, she couldn't share it because it's behind a paywall. I almost sneezed and stopped. Jeanette Snyder says it makes you really consider the question about mental health conditions such as epilepsy or autism versus mental health illness like schizophrenia. Why are they aren't prepared to handle these people's rights? And the whole schizophrenia thing has never been a diagnosis, and the courts aren't doctors. So if he's guilty of this kind of crime, if he did do it, yeah, that's the thing. But right now, there's no proof being shown to me that he did it. So that's not even a consideration, because if he's been monitored by doctors. I don't know if any of you have family that have that, but I do. And I also was a med tech and have an extreme experience because I worked on the mental health unit. Schizophrenia is uncontrollable. There's many levels of it. Some people can live with it quite fine and function with medication and do quite well. But it's always a yo-yo. It's always up and down, up and down, up and down. And there are mindsets that reveal themselves unintentionally by the person that may just out of the blue say something because they are hearing something. And everybody handles it and has different symptoms. However, the reason they can diagnose it is because it's a very yo-yo, unreliable feeling, like you don't know when it's kicking in, and so you might fall into thinking this is your new reality when it's not. You feel me? Big Mikey, I've missed you. You want to know if I think it could be a psyops? I'm starting to wonder if the whole damn planet's a psyop. How about that one? How about we're all in some sort of a matrix thing and we're just dreaming, you know? And when we're dreaming, we're awake, right? I don't know. I had the most horrific nightmare about 4 nights ago. And I am telling you, it is one of the shortest things I could share with you. But it left me absolutely, at almost 60 years old, absolutely wide awake and shaking and covered in sweat. And it's just a 30-second little mental mind clip that happened out of the blue in a dream. And in my waking day, it still horrifies me. So I've begun to wonder what the hell triggered such a horrific dream like that. You know, and it's like we all think we're mentally healthy. But now, as I go through my days, every once in a while, I'm like, ugh, why would I have had such a horrific dream? I felt like it was horrible. Okay, Wonder Steep says, don't pay for it. It's all over YouTube. Okay, I'll look for it. Thank you, Wonder Steep. So I realized that what triggered my horrific dream, based on what it was, which I'm not going to share it, because literally I'm afraid that I'll give you a nightmare by telling you about it. It's that bad. It's injustice. of feeling like you're innocently minding your own business when you're sideswiped with such a force to be reckoned with that you innocently fall prey to this powerful, hungry to just develop this narrative and shove it down your throat until you just are so stuffed with falsehoods that you're distracted from what really is important. And that is staying well balanced in life, right? Keeping yourself on your feet so that you don't fall victim to feeling helpless. Because that's what's really being delivered. It's not just poisoning the jury pool. It's poisoning the judicial system. And I say that because think of all the thousands of people that felt helpless while we watched Richard Allen's trial develop. And we didn't watch the trial, but as they came out and they foretold and they shared what happened in that trial. And then directly after the trial, the truth started unraveling. And we were like, oh my God, right? It's this decomposing judicial system that leaves us very vulnerable as we watch people that are not proven guilty, but rather proving the opposite, that the prosecution is biased and like some sort of a ravishing beast that is a demon that's just got its sights set on you at absolutely all costs. And that includes if they got to taint the jury. It includes if they've got to poison the actual well of justice to do it. They're going to do it, and they're going to smile in your face as they do it. And that's where Americans begin to feel weak. We're like, wow, we know the truth. We know that's a lie. We know that's not the way it went down. We're hearing the truth, and it's being ignored. And that is, in this case specifically, that they should be looking at other suspects. They've got the DNA of blood at the homicide scene. There's no excuse for not examining that, because that could really be important. Exactly, me, Ping. You're nailing it. He's not the cookie cutter college dude. Easy target to be used, manipulated, taken advantage of as the fall guy. And they do that. Watch this blueprint. Brendan Dassey, low IQ of 70, but also you can see his language issues and complex nervous issues. He can't meet people's eyes when he talks. 16 years old, could not tell the investigators what happened to Teresa Halbach. Couldn't tell them. Guessed wrong time and time and time again, until the investigators that have this 16-year-old kid without lawyers, without parents, in a school setting, alone, in a room, on camera, are recorded yelling at this child that she was shot in the head. Now say it. Why can't you say it? Where's that kid? He's still serving a life sentence because he said she was shot in the head. You tell me. When you watch the judicial system shatter and break, how strong do you feel? Because if you think this is all about Kohlberger, no. This is how they break you to make you think you don't have the right to a fair trial before trial. Now, they're going to get on there on the media and they're going to create a vilified monster that movies can be made from and make a lot of money. Yeah, I could be making, I want to tell you something. Kiss my butt if you're like, you're on there for clicks and views. Are you stupid? Are you actually stupid with 2 O's? I'm just saying, here's the deal. If I was on here for clicks and damn views, I'd be like a Kohlberger's guilty kind of girl, wouldn't I? Because that's where the views are. Go watch the drunken crap, right? 40,000, 80,000 views. No, we're the underdog trying to fight for justice. That's the ticket. Think about it. If I was Jay Slater, had an accident, and I can walk you through how that happened, my views would have went way the hell up. But see, I'm a truth speaker, I'm a truth seeker, and I want the truth. So, Ex-con says it's sad a small group of people can witness something and the media can come in and paint a stage with a whole narrative. Then you read the transcripts and you watch the news and we're like, what the F? H says, and truth spoken here too. That's how they got the confession from the kid in the West. Yeah, true. Janet Snyder, it's sad how people with mental health issues are detained for hours and put into prison in solitary for 13 months. An ex in Delphi. Listen, they find the guy that is vulnerable. If he's got autism, he's not going to communicate well. He's also most likely, Asperger's, autism. A lot of the problem is that they cannot connect with society the way that society expects them to. So there's a written underlying society rule that if you're guilty, you will not meet me in the eyes when you talk. That's how I know you're lying. Look at me. When you say that, you're lying. However, if you are trained and educated with Asperger's and with autism, many folks that suffer from that have a very difficult time looking anyone in the eye. In fact, they don't like to take pictures, so there's a very few of them, because there's something about it to where they feel like nervous, they feel uncomfortable, they will, like my son has Asperger's and he'll look at me in the eye, but when it comes to working at the till, right, at his job, he doesn't look the person right in the eye when he's checking them out because he feels vulnerable and he doesn't know them, they're a stranger. So he'll be like, anything else for today? Okay, and if you talk to him and you're a stranger at the till, here you are over here, my son will look off in the distance so that he's not looking at your face while you talk to him. That's because of his diagnosis. He's been that way since a little bitty baby. Doesn't make him guilty. However, he had something happen on the bus. I had to go in. I wanted the video because they were saying my son was guilty because he wouldn't even look him in the face when he talked. He was 5 years old. He wouldn't look nobody in the face when he talked all the time. So we have to be very, very careful with body language if we don't know the person's natural tendencies all the time, right? If we see them on video all the time and they never have their arms crossed ever, and they cross their arms like Mark Williams Thomas in this latest interview, that's something new and different that he's doing. That probably means he's defensive, covering his, goes back to caveman days of protecting your heart, right? Or rain. Or aurora rain. At this moment, the moon is in Virgo. Monday, full moon will be in the Libra. Just look at the sky or star map. Thank you, lovely, for the update. Jeanette Schneider says, we as people need to advocate for mental health awareness more than doing ice bucket challenges, and law enforcement has relatively zero knowledge on conditions like epilepsy and using flashing lights. Right? Good point. Aw, I love you too, Ocean Deep. Young Black Economist says, it's not about money in my opinion. I see how it's hard to understand why would they do this if money isn't involved. But there's something more important than money, and that's maintaining the status quo. You cannot put a price on freedom. And when we see somebody's back forced into a corner by a mob, of people that are supposed to be unbiased. Prosecution's supposed to be unbiased, but they're not. Judges are supposed to be unbiased, but yet you see them favor one side or the other. Most likely the prosecution. Why is that? Well, see, this guy, this defendant here, he's going to come and go, and it's going to be replaced with a different face. A different face. Well, new defendant. Might be 20 in a day. These come and go. You don't get attached to them. However, the judge, the prosecution, the lawyers, they see each other all the damn time. Hey, Bill. Hi, Mary. Hi, Bill. New day. New day, Mary. But that defendant is in a revolving door with a different face all the time. And so, unfortunately, we see this favoritism time and time again, right? This is the biggest question. You get the gold star. We're going to leave it right here. Ex-con is asking a question. Who are they protecting, I asked myself, and I'm going to elaborate a little further and say, what are they protecting? Is it the college? Is it their face? Is it their name? I'll let you come up with your own questions. I love you guys. I truly, truly do. I knew I was going to have a super busy day today, but I needed to get over here because this has been eating me alive. Watching all this crap come out, and they're not showing it. So if you're going to say you got facts, if you've got proof, if you've got documents, if you've got phone records, show it or shut it. All right? So if you're going to spew out that you got facts, I want to see it. I don't want to hear it from you. I don't give a crap about your opinion. If you say you got a fact, I want to see it for myself. So show it or shut it. All right, you guys. We're going to be heading over on Mama D's Family, where we are going to be discussing Lily and Jack Sullivan, 4 and 6-year-olds from Nova Scotia missing. And oh my golly, what in the actual hell? These 2 kids did not go to school on the 2 days prior to they were reported missing. The last time that these 2 children were seen was April 29th by the bus driver. They weren't reported missing till May 2nd. Let's get over, take a deep breath. It's not looking good for these 2 little ones and these parents. Mommy's already left the county. So let's get over and try to spread some awareness and figure out what we can do and see what's going on in that case. I hope that you'll join me if you can bear it. It is going to blow your mind. There are some things, even just the visuals of the yard, you're going to be like, oh my God. And this is like a double dose of Summer Wells' case. I'm just saying. I love you guys. I hope that you will continue to fight for justice. Don't believe it unless they prove it to you. Don't buy it based on somebody else saying they have the proof in their back pocket and they'll show it to you later. Just buy it now. No, nay, not today, not tomorrow. You just say, pull it out, show it. Show what you got or shut up, right? I love you guys. To the moon and back. Oh, I forgot our music. Where is it? Oh, the poll, you guys, the poll. Y'all forgot to tell me about the poll. Did I stop the music? Okay, here we go. Has any info that national media has revealed changed your mind on Kohlberger's innocence or guilt? We only have 78 votes today, but we're going to go ahead and in the poll. The least favorite answer was A, yes, new leaked info. 12% got swayed by the new leaked info. The next least favorite answer was C. The new info has me questioning it all. Fair enough, 27%. And a whopping 60% chose answer B. No, nothing yet. I appreciate all of your truthfulness and your opinions, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. And if you are continuing over with me, we'll be starting in 14 minutes, and hopefully these two children can be found. I pray to God that Lily and Jack Sullivan are found as soon as possible. I love you guys. To the moon and back. Thank you, my mods. Thank you, Carolyn Miller, young black economist, ex-con, Jeanette, Lady Speedwell, me Ping. Thank you. You did a really good job. I appreciate that. And Sean Cummins, hello, hello. All right, my lovelies, I'll see you very soon. I hope you have a wonderful, happy Mother's Day for those of you that are moms and celebrating. And if you're not a mom and you're a single parent as a dad, happy Mother's Day to you too. I love you. To the moon and back. Bye.